Shifting our focus to our next story that we are tracking here on the broadcast as innocent until proving guilty. A Delhi court has in fact reiterated this by saying that the judiciary owes this principle more than just verbal respect. This ruling came as the court was granting bail to a police officer in a bribery case. The court said that the object of granting bail to an accused was neither punitive nor preventive in nature. To discuss this further, I'm now joined on the broadcast by Ms. Geeta Luthra, who's a senior lawyer. Ms. Luthra, bail is the rule, jail is an exception. Now, this canon of criminal jurisprudence was laid down by the Supreme Court of India itself, and now the High Court pretty much reiterating this.
You're right. Of course, this, I think, was a Sessions Court order. But the fact is that the Supreme Court laid this down. I think it was Justice Krishna Iyer's judgment. And there have been a host of other judgments after that, including a judgment called Balchand by Supreme Court, and thereafter followed by a Constitution Bench judgment of 1980 of the Supreme Court. Recently, very recently, it was reiterated in two cases. One, in fact, which was authored by Justice Dalveer Bhandare, who's now in the ICJ, and another subsequently one called Sushila. Now, all of them are saying that bail is the rule and not jail. On the other hand, sometimes the courts become a little tired of the fact that the trial takes so long, and they feel that, real justice is not being done. So the question is, of course, the rights of innocent persons is what should be the uppermost and which should be the most important aspect of criminal jurisprudence. The only reason sometimes bails are not given is because the court feels that the system is tardy and slow. So we should be giving bails as long as we feel somebody is not going to escape, somebody is not going to tamper with evidence, somebody is not going to run away. These two principles are the basic principles to safeguard when anticipatory bail is given. And with that, the handmaid of that is an attempt to secure early and expeditious trials so that justice is done. Innocent do not have this threat looming over their heads, and the guilty do not escape unpunished. But before they are punished, they have to be presumed to be innocent. That is the fundamental of English principles of jurisprudence. A person is innocent unless proved guilty.
Very important point that you're making, Ms. Luthra. In fact, if we take our viewers through the background of this particular case, in fact, this is a police constable who's been accused of bribery. This is a 39,000 rupees that he has actually taken as bribery, and this one was in judicial custody since January 23rd. So the timeline that we're talking about over here, while this verdict really came from the court, has been really less. Otherwise, there have been a lot of people who keep languishing in jails. And the very important observation that the court made, it said that the accused cannot be kept in custody as a measure of punishment. This is something which has to be underlined.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You can't make it punitive because you have no means of returning to an innocent person the period that he has undergone in custody, because there are hardly any cases in India where for false, incorrect custodial incarceration, you have been able to return the honor to the person. You have been able to compensate him financially, which compensation can never be the same. And therefore, this jurisprudence has not developed in India because there's so many people who are acquitted for false implication. There are so many cases of false implication. It may be enmity, it may be to, equal scores, it may be for any number of reasons. And so you cannot have punishment which is punitive. You cannot keep a person inside in custody while waiting trial unless there are some special reasons.
Absolutely. Ms. Luthra, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast with all those important inputs on this story. Innocent, yet until proven guilty is something that the court has underlined once again. This is the Supreme Court verdict back then. This keeps recurring. However, the courts make it a point to ensure that bail is a norm, jail is an exception.